It's a game changer. Tech.
Yeah.
It's a real game changer. There will always be human input needed. For sure, there's a substance. Without hype, you wouldn't get traction. So we actually did well with the hype. We made a lot of noise in West Africa in particular. A lot of waste. A lot.
You need to love the product, love the culture. That's only when you can keep them doing great work.
There are hours and hours of recordings on the problem. The big problem.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Amazing Exploits with Joshua Olani. Joining me on this episode is a lead software engineer, a full stack developer, building scalable and reliable systems for companies locally and globally. And interestingly, he's also my colleague at work, so it's very exciting to have him around on this episode. Join me in welcoming Jamros, Peter Oduntan.
Hey,
Hi Peter, welcome to the podcast.
good to be here.
How are you doing?
Could be better, I'll be honest, but can't complain.
Lagos stress, have you?
It's Lagos, it's mad.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, but then we are figuring it out and just getting on as it goes.
I don't think we have a choice.
We have no choice.
We don't have a choice. We need to keep going.
Cool. How is work? How is life lately?
Work is work. You know, it's I've always considered like a privilege to do what I do. I think you can relate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, work is great. Yeah, I'd say I'm in a much better position than I was years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel very privileged to like be able to work on what I've been able to work on.
It takes a lot of years to build, to gain experience, and then to get to where you are. So I'd just love to take you back a bit. Let's take you to when and how you decided that you wanted to go into software engineering. You had an undergraduate degree in computer science, and even early in your career, you did a bit of design, but it seems as if you just switched and then never looked back. I want to know how did that happen for you?
Well, I had an eye for design right from time. I was always fascinated by colors, especially on the web. I've always seen like native apps or whatever, native apps, computer apps to be boring. I've always found the most fun was found on the web. So I was fascinated by that, using early tools, web tools before Figma came into play. Not using web dev tools. So my brief stint with design was okay. I think the Adobe suite helped out a lot. Photoshop, Illustrator and the likes. It's not like I dumped it.
Okay.
It's just, as you move along in your career, you see things clearer and you'd have choices placed before you. And yes, I did have a computer science degree. But honestly, I'll say my passion for design at the time really pushed me into computer science.
That's like before you got into school.
Yeah,
And you started doing stuff around design before school.
definitely before I got into school, I was already been doing some designs, flyers, just random designs. Could even be for letterheads and the like, just easy stuff. But then I was sort of drawn into web development as well. I was fascinated by the idea of being able to code. Why? Because of movies. You know the way.
Oh yeah, you see the numbers.
You know the way they portray coders in especially Hollywood movies. Like you see this guy in his mother's basement, coding in 2 seconds. I mean, about this, about that, but it's not true. But seeing all that, you feel that it's Hollywood culture, but it sort of influenced my decisions as well. I was like, wow, this is very cool. As a kid, you pick up a lot of stuff. And the easy stuff then was just going to design, man. I'll start working on stuff. But then I picked up web development and stopped with it, to be honest. And I went into school already having prior knowledge of web development mostly, but I did like looking at code, writing code. I understood it. You could call it a gift or whatever, but I've always found to be very adaptable to within lines of code. Doesn't matter what tech it is.
Yeah.
And I think later on in my career, I found out it's not actually a special talent. What you need to know is the fundamentals. That's what the degree actually teaches you, the fundamentals. It's not just about, you need to see these things as like tools. You need to understand there are actually a lot of people doing this. But how do you stand out among your peers to actually determine how long you last in your career? So I sort of had a clear understanding that, this is actually a tool. And you need a leg in if you want to go into the industry. The degree gives you that, gives you a leg up. But really, it goes hand in hand. If you don't have the talent, and you don't have the degree, then you are dead in the water already. But if you have a degree, you don't have the talent, then maybe hard work can speak for you, and then you sort of gain some proficiency and experience along the way. But if you have the talent, you have the degree, and you can back it up with hard work as well. You find that you will go very far.
How important is that computer science degree? Because I know that these days you always get into tech. Some of these tools you can just like start learning on YouTube and all of that. So what difference having that degree? What difference has it made?
Right. Speaking for myself, I'll be honest. The degree, if I were to measure it in weight, I'd say it did maybe 10%. I'm being honest here. Especially in our current climate in Nigeria. Maybe 20 years ago, your degree would have done something for you, especially in computer science. And even, I'd say 20 years ago, if you had a degree in computer science, you would be maybe in a bank. Because we didn't really have the necessary infrastructure to like accommodate someone with a special gift or computer science degree and can actually innovate and build stuff. But I'd say the fintech boom in maybe around 2006 with InterSwitch and stuff. Maybe sort of gave us like, you need to have a degree to be able to get into all these places. You need to have a degree. But in general, the degree will not really do much for you. You need to have the interest, the inclination to actually do the work. You need to be able to identify. Actually, you need to know the fundamentals. If you know the fundamentals, are you adding a bit of tooling? You're already getting started with a career in tech. Take, for example, Elon Musk. I think a few months ago, he put out a job ad. You know the way he is in video erratic. He put out a job ad, and he didn't really care about the degree. Why? He didn't really care about, like,
Question what you've done.
he didn't really care about, do you have a computer science major? Or did you study at Harvard? Or did you study at Stanford? Or did you study in, in a polytechnic in Nigeria? He didn't really care about that. He was really looking for your body of work over the years, being able to articulate your ideas into code, solve problems, anything you look. He put the job out there. It didn't really matter, what school you went to or what degree you have. So that it's a game changer, tech. It's a real game changer. I can't lie about that. It's different from other industries because the opportunity to get in is there for anyone. You could easily transition from a different career into tech. There's nothing stopping you. You could be in finance. You could be in a hairdresser. Doesn't really matter. If you pick up tech, could be cybersecurity, could be DevOps, could be web dev, or in general software development. You do a few courses and try to upskill, and you could easily get in. Although there are a few caveats because the industry is very saturated at the moment. Because a lot of people will obviously want to get in. This is where those who have actually gotten in earlier, this is where they have like an advantage. But the opportunity is still there. And yes, we did have a bunch of layoffs over the years, tech jobs leaving. The emergence of AI as well, putting fear in everyone's minds. Like, is the career in danger? Do I actually get jobs? First I didn't need the degree. But now do I actually need the career because a bot can actually do my job? But it's not that simple. AI will keep growing. I don't think we can stop it.
Yeah.
But the opportunities will never end when it comes to tech. There will always be human input needed, side to side with AI.
Cool. So diving a bit to how AI is like shaping the tech industry, but then a tech ecosystem in Nigeria.
Yep.
I also know, what's your opinion? Do we really have substance, or is it just hype? I know you mentioned 2006-ish, InterSwitch, Hotels.ng at some point.
Yeah.
We had the Andela,
Yeah.
and then it was get into tech, there's money there, and then the hype was a lot.
Yep.
But I think from a point when Elon Musk took over Twitter, where there were some layoffs,
Yeah.
and other companies felt that, oh, this is possible. We really don't need as much people. Everything just deep down, funding for startups. 2020, 2021, a lot of startups were announcing Series A, really, everything just dipped. So what do you think about our tech ecosystem? Do we really have substance? Is it sustainable, or is it just hype?
100% we have substance. 100%. I'd say what gave us, what put us on the map was the fintech boom. We have to talk about it.
Yeah.
We can't ignore it. I mean, what InterSwitch did was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing when they came in. I think the founder was working with Swift at some point, came in. And picking that particular industry in a developing nation was a no-brainer, and it worked out. But there was a lot of hard work put into it. And along the years, you've had companies like Paystack, Fluxaway doing the same thing. Now we've had some small startups getting successful in funding, pushing their product, and we've actually had foreign bodies buying into these ideas with the fintech applications and stuff like that.
Yes.
If there's no substance in our talent here, they wouldn't buy it.
Sure.
I mean, I remember Zuckerberg came to Yaba.
Yeah,
I mean,
the current minister.
Yeah, and
Bosuntinjani.
Yeah, and that was before he became a minister. He was in Yaba, and there's a small tech hub there. And it was on the CC hub and the likes, and he was really interested, and he came down. He wouldn't come down if there isn't potential. But we do have substance. It's just the fear of missing out will create like an inflow of a lot of people trying to do the same thing. That's what you find. So a lot of people will try to do the same things. They'll come up. The product may not be perfect, which is fine. Because along the way, you sort of refine your product according to the clients you get. You try to really make it customer facing before you even think of making that perfect product. Your focus should actually be on the consumer, which a bunch of them try to do. It's just while looking for perfection, there's a tendency for this to go a bit wrong. Poor execution. Successful funding round means you have potential, depending on the series A, whatever the likes. But what happens when you hit a roadblock and you can't actually make it to the next round because all your iterations didn't really work out, and you're condemned because you actually have real investors they're not angel investors, they're real investors, and you have them waiting for results,
asking for what's happening.
Like you actually need to produce. You got funded, so you need to actually produce. The product needs to work out. And we have a few success stories, like I said, Fluxaway, Paystack, Equal Grey, Finca. We have a bunch of them. Moneypoint, incredible companies. So for sure, there's a substance. And of course, there's the hype. Without hype, you wouldn't get traction. So we actually did well with the hype. We made a lot of noise in West Africa in particular. We disturbed the banks. No, I'm not saying we. I'm not part of it.
Oh wow, you had to get wow.
I'm not part of it, but we did. We made a lot of noise. We had a few senior executives actually buying in the country. President of UBA, Illumide, actually bought into innovative ideas and stuff like that. But not 100% perfect. I believe across the board, everything could have been done better. Like what Paystack did is incredible. What Featherwave did, incredible work. And everyone has their opinion about these companies. You can say they're not 100% perfect, but you can't deny the work they did. So it's not just hype. There's 100% substance.
And it formed this solid foundation for
all the
new startups.
Yes.
Say that, oh, Flutterwave did this, we can do it. Money Points is doing it, we can also do it. I want us to still dig in a bit deeper. All right, we talked about the fintech boom, and now, even up to this year, we still have new fintech startup popping out, new products. What exactly is happening? Are we going to outgrow this space? Because people like, oh, for a poor, not let me not say poor. Like we are not making so much money, but then we have a lot of fintech products, and they seem as if products in other industries, they don't really survive, or they don't make that area because they are investors. They want you to make money. So there have been a few edtech startups, agritech. Many of them come up, but it doesn't seem as if our economy is not ripe enough for them. What do you think? Are we going to outgrow this fintech era of new fintech, will new industries, new startup actually pop and do very well?
My goodness, it will be difficult because, like you said, you mentioned agri-tech. You'd find some agri-tech solutions, it's just fintech solutions.
Yeah.
And that's
bottom line.
That's crazy because the focus should actually be agriculture, but you'd find that you don't see the farm, produce, but you get like immediately you are slammed with plans that invest your money. Invest your money in this piece of land. You don't see the piece of land, just invest your money in this piece of land, and it will appreciate by a certain interest in a couple of months or in a couple of years. Now people don't actually give a damn about the agriculture at all. They're only concerned about the financial side of it. So that's mad on its own, and that means in everything we have currently, there's a bunch of fintech stuff in it.
You're even joking on Twitter recently that some startup, before you know, they'll introduce airtime sales. Like you just have to do it to some
like Paystack's latest release, this app. They're saying, this app won't do well. They're going to end up selling airtime, and that was hilarious to me. Yeah, you can imagine that fintech is imbibed in everything, and it should be so. No surprises, because the economy moves with money. And money always has to flow in an economy. Are we going to outgrow the fintech boom? I think we haven't. It's not really a boom anymore. It's like steady, like a steady equilibrium now with fintech, because we actually know the big players in the industry now.
Trust has like been built, especially on some platforms.
And we know the big players. We know the traders. We know them. So any emerging financial technology coming out now is likely using services. They're bouncing off services from this or that. So you're able to build a niche. Whether you might want to build like a wallet service and just use tools that are already available to you. APIs that are readily available. You don't need to actually think outside the box. Just know your niche and build and execute and launch whatever. So it's easy. An emerging industry is coming. In fact, I believe the future is hardware. And there's a huge potential for especially IoTs, embedded technology, especially in developing nations like ours. And I think everyone should actually focus on the next thing. Fintech is here to stay again. It's not going anywhere. But I think the next boom has to be the hardware side, embedded software, embedded systems, self-serving systems. I think that's the next one.
What's like your favorite non-fintech platform or non-fintech startup currently?
Actually, there's this solution that this lady tried to make movie industry. I mean, we thank God we have other industries. I forget her name now, but what she did was she tried to make movie making like more accessible. Innovations like that really moved me because she went like outside the norms where you have to get streamers on board or get the movie industry on board. You can actually do your own thing now. All she did was create the service. And I think with that service you're able to get the best in the industry, from script writers to screenwriters to a bunch of other stuff, and you could put together your own short film and release as an independent body. That's incredible.
Sure.
My other company, Good Pharma, it's agri-tech. And one different thing about Good Pharma is I don't think they don't really throw fintech in your face. Like, they are actually very close to the farmers. They work directly with farmers, farm produce, moving it from the farms to actual consumers. And right now they're trying to prevent waste in the agricultural business, because the level of waste at the moment.
When you go to like Jos, once you see sport mangoes, fruits, even in our market in Lagos, once you see them,
a lot of waste, and even now there's a food security crisis in the country. So I think now more than ever, such companies should do very well. But with the right support from the government.
Yeah, I love what is actually doing with the movie industry, as you said, because companies like Canva, they have to think outside the box and say, okay, want to make it easy for random people to be able to just create their designs, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to get all of maybe everything that is previously required for you to be able to get stuff out. Is more like very big and grand, but then want to make it very simple that you can just go there, put things together and create designs that you can use. And I think that's like very, very, very interesting, where, okay, I don't have to have all of the big budget, but at least there's a product that somewhere I can go to, share my idea, look at the process, get relevant services, and before you know, I can produce.
Not everything is written in stone. Things are changing, and they're changing very fast. So,
it's important for us to like look within and start building ourselves. Yeah, I might start small, but at least let's create that same traction by ourselves. And before you know, they'll still come on board again. And then
that's it.
Yeah, so let's dive into building products, working with founders. I know over the span of your career, you had to work at different places with different people. What is one common mistake that founders make, or especially non-technical founders, when hiring developers?
When it comes to the hiring process, as a non-technical founder, it's important to get a CTO.
Yeah.
And most founders, the mistake they make is they want a big team immediately. Or they want a senior engineer, they want a senior DevOps guy, they want a senior QA, they want, senior designer. No. You can achieve a lot with a small, dedicated team. You need to keep things flexible and fast from the jump. You don't need to go that deep into your company. You can have a vision for your company, where you eventually need all these people, but it shouldn't be your first priority. Your first priority, get a CTO, and make sure that CTO is actually willing to buy into your own idea, to buy into the idea, to be able to wear many hats. And make no mistakes, if you're just starting out as a founder for a young startup, everyone is going to be overworked. You can't avoid that. You're going to be overworked. So if you can get real serious people, for example, a CTO that is actually quite good, that can wear many hats on the team, that is both technical and has an idea about the business, that's like a blessing on its own. And then that CTO knows what to do, knows who to bring on. I think the CTO should be right in there, should be the bridge between the business and the tech. Now, if we get a CTO that's going to get his hands dirty and actually get in there, you'll find that your product will ship very fast. And with a very small team, if you want you to scale, the CTO should know what to do. Right. From the jump, you know the tech you're using, and you stick with it till the end. Yes, you can be flexible and change along the way. That's totally fine. But you can imagine if a CTO that is well grounded, he knows he needs one web guy. They are on a budget, so they cannot get maybe a native iOS guy or a native Android guy. So they get a guy that can build cross platforms. Make it cheaper, save some money, and still build quality. Get many tools available to you. Flutter, React Native, blah, blah, blah. You need this quick, yes?
Yeah.
So you get someone that can build cross-native, and you get someone on the web, and you just get to work. No long talk. Just get to work. And you find that you're actually building. Now, when it comes to deployment, you can say that's a whole different issue, because your deployment really has to be iterated. It has to always run in a cycle. And if you're deploying for your first users, you need the most limited amount of resources to do that. And once you perfect that, you must run another iteration and exponentially increase those number of users that you expect for your platform, and scale according to that as well. And then you just repeat that phase again and again until you actually have a strong customer base.
That was very insightful. One of the things you mentioned is finding people that first even believe in the vision, and once they believe in it, they can go all the way in, put in the time, the effort, get their hand dirty, especially as CTOs, wear many hats just to make sure that that product is very successful. So are there other traits that you would also look out for or a startup founder should look out for in getting their first developer? Let's say maybe they're not even able to bring somebody that is at CTO level that can really manage. Let's say they want to get their first developer to come on board, or first set of developers. What are other traits that they should look out for?
Well, traits to look out for. Formally, you look out for a degree, yes. But really, that's the wrong play. The right play, if you're looking for a developer, is honestly is put them through your process. First, you need a hiring process.
Okay.
And your hiring process could be, the first time could be a conversation with the developer. You actually talk to them, right? And immediately you want to be bouncing ideas off the developer. Right, you want to bring him on. You don't necessarily need to share what you are building with the developer yet. But what you can do is leave hints for the developer to catch on.
Yeah.
Well, you leave hints about your product, and the developer of interest is like, wow, I actually did this sometime ago.
You can do it this way, or you can...
Yeah, and I did this at a small scale. You find that, you actually have shared interest. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the talent or whatever. That comes after. You need to actually know the person you're talking to. And you can actually know someone when you talk to them, the body of work of the developer. Some will say they'd like to see the GitHub profile of the developer. That's fine. So all these things are actually quite relative. And to get the right person is 50-50. A founder can go ahead and use a hiring company all they want, or an agency to get some good talent. I mean, we have great agencies like TopTal, Andela, the rest of them. But with experience, I found that even these people that you get from Andela or from Old School or from somewhere, it's not all written in stone. They still need to be onboarded in your company, and they need to understand your culture. They need to love the product. Because if you get someone in who could be senior all they want, if they don't have the business knowledge about that product, or they have no interest in the product, then it will tell. It will tell in the execution. It will tell in code quality. It will tell in the overall quality of your product, and you may actually pay for it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because looking at a few startups or companies that we have in Nigeria really doing well, from afar, you can really tell that the people that work in this place, they love the company, they love the product. We all know the kind of culture that Paystack have been able to build, where a lot of their staff, they just want to stay. They love the process. They've been with Paystack for a very long time. They've been building. They enjoy working there, and every one of us that even outside the company, we can feel it that they love. Even for Child Deck too, I love how once I see the post of someone, maybe they are designers or even developers, you can feel that these people want to see this product succeed. They love the product, and I think that's very, very important. Because you talked about culture, important that anybody that is coming, they need to love the product, love the culture. That's only when you can keep them doing great work.
Yeah, it's very important, because when they come on, they need to find that balance between work and life. It works hand in hand, and if you're able to get it right, it will tell on your product for 100%. It will tell on your product because it doesn't matter how much you pay them. Yeah, I mean, there are two things. You can pay someone so much money that you wouldn't be able to keep them out of the office. They would always come in because the pay is good. Yeah, but then you can flip that on its head by paying adequate, getting good talent, even with on a budget. Yeah, but having the person actually buy into your idea as a founder and actually liking the product, that's a game changer for you and your product. It's a game changer.
You won't have to like micromanage. You're looking for the next thing they can do.
No.
To help the products.
The product they'll bring the ideas to you. I mean, things you don't think about because they're actually the ones building.
Sure.
They'll bring it to you. They'll give you the right feedback that will actually fit your business model. You'll find out, okay, maybe we need to change our business model. And then it's just overall positive for your product. Yeah.
That's cool, right? I know over your journey, you've managed developers, junior developers, and you also worked with a lot of other developer colleagues. What separates an average developer from a great developer?
For example, when they're working on a solution, an average developer would take the long road, really, because he wants to show his work.
Yeah.
He might just be starting out. He might have some knowledge, but there's the potential of overthinking things, overthinking solutions. And when you overthink solutions, you could make something that works, but it's going to be very complicated and very tough to manage. That even, not even to scale, to even manage. An average developer, a junior developer, could make something and could come back in 2 weeks and it wouldn't know where to start from. Why? Because it's just a mess and it's overcomplicated. How I can identify a top developer is by seeing the work and him being able to identify that less is actually more.
Overall.
So, I mean, the average developer wants a lot of stuff. Like he wants to he might just overcomplicate the whole process. But a top developer is going to see less is more. He's going to stick to the fundamentals. Could be DIY, don't repeat yourself. Could be a bunch of other industry best practices. And you still find that the solution from the top developer, 10x developer, is actually easy to read, easy to understand, standalone, easy to integrate, easy to test, easy to automate, easy to deploy, easy to manage. And come back in a year and start right where he left off. Because the building blocks of what he did are solid. A junior developer might give you a bit of pushback.
Nice.
It's likely to give you a bit of pushback on their work. A bad developer is one that does not take feedback. A junior developer that is learning stuff and is taking feedback is, I say, more than average. Because yes, you are a junior developer or you are intermediate, right? You're actually taking good feedback,
working on them.
You're working on your craft, and you're actually showing up daily to improve. That's the key.
There's always new tech coming out almost every year. How do you know? Maybe speak for you, and even juniors will also be able to learn from it. How do you know what to pick? How do you know what to learn? How do you know that, let me just still stay with what works, the foundational maybe programs? There's always new stuff coming out every year, every time. How do you know what to learn, what to stay focused on?
I think you're being kind here. When you say we have new things coming out, honestly, those new things are likely JavaScript things. because it's usually JavaScript that has all these new variants of stuff coming out. The other tools are pretty stable in my opinion. It's mostly JavaScript that are always doing something
New, interesting.
I mean, what JavaScript like allows you to do is to be able to create more variants of it. I mean, you have the engine itself, which is Node. I mean, and the rest are just variants, honestly. Everything still goes down to the DOM. And I make this point because the DOM, I mean, that's your natural browser environment, the page itself, object model of the web. Why I'm mentioning DOM, why I'm using JavaScript, because I know people will be able to relate to this. What JavaScript framework should I pick? Should I choose React? Should I choose Vue.js? Should I choose Nest.js? Should I choose Next.js? I mean, you can see Nest, React, Svelte, like, come on, there's too much to pick from. But fundamentals are key and important, right? What to pick? There are so many factors that can drive your choices. The economy can drive your choices. I need a job. I need money. So I need to get into the job market, and I need to do some research and figure out what frameworks these companies actually use. Learn it, get a job, get some money. That's one scenario.
Okay.
The next scenario is, I'm an artist. I'm an enthusiast. I'm motivated. I just like the way things work. I'm not desperate for making 10 times income or this or that. I just like the art. Someone like that likely has a lot of fundamentals already. Those are two different people.
Yeah.
Someone like that already has the fundamentals. Now, what's the fundamentals? Fundamentals are, I mean, the building blocks of software engineering, right? Of programming itself. For example, loops are written in different syntaxes for these tools. Well, I wouldn't say different syntaxes, but they still work the same way, right? Maybe how you declare a variable could use different syntaxes. But what you should be looking out for is what a variable actually is. What a variable actually is constant across whatever tool that you want to pick. It's still the same. A reference to a variable stored in memory, a variable not stored in memory, a variable that can change, that is a constant, a variable that can't be changed, a variable that can't be changed as a constant, a variable that can change. You need to have the fundamental knowledge first, and then later on depend on the tools. If you depend on the tools first, that's not very good. I'm not saying you can't have a career if you depend on the tools, if you look at the tools first. I mean, we have people starting on in their career and immediately they call themselves React developers. Like I'm a Vue developer. I mean, they find those tags immediately. Now, I have nothing against people like that. It's fine if you have a certain interest that you like, a certain niche that you like, a certain tool that you like, and if you feel you want to tailor your career all like that way, you can actually have a successful career. You may be limited, but you could have a decent career, right? But if you want to make the decision, what tool should I pick? What dish should I pick? I'd say put that question aside first.
Focus on the
fundamentals. Have the base knowledge about how things work, depending on the environment. If you're on the web, have a great idea of how the web works, the life cycle, the fundamentals. Very important. If you get that out of the way, then I think you're on the way towards I'd say a decent career, because the fundamentals themselves are not. It's not like set in stone for you to have the best career. You need to put in the work. You need to be able to adjust to the industry, and the industry as well is changing. tools are changing. But if you have the fundamentals laid down as your foundation,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what side the industry is tending towards, you'd always be able to adjust and to be able to adapt. For example,
Still on the fundamentals, right? I know that there are people that they just know that, oh, I think I want to become a software engineer. I can see cool stuff Peter is doing, or other software engineers in other places, and they want to become a software engineer. So, like, what still the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
What program should they go for? How should they start? They don't. They are not even junior yet.
right?
Yeah. Which program should they like start? Even though they don't even know where they want to focus on,
Yeah.
or where they want to get. So yeah, what are those fundamental programs they should?
So let's start from the base. You need to have an education, don't you? If you want to go to school, please go to school, get a degree. What a degree does is it opens doors for you, and you can get a leg in with a degree and figure it out from there. Start with the fundamentals of web development, JavaScript, CSS,
Okay.
HTML5. I think that's the standard,
Okay.
right? And what JavaScript these days, I mean, I remember during our time years ago, we didn't have Node.js, we didn't have Node. JavaScript was not multi-platform, because now it is.
Okay.
Now you can actually figure out your backend and your front end, do a full stack with one stack, which is JavaScript. Instead of before, we had to always improvise, like, okay, on the web, we could use JavaScript. And then on the server side, we could use PHP or Python. But now you can actually have your whole stack using one tech, which is JavaScript. So, I mean, if you are thinking towards web development, that's an easy entry for you.
That's very interesting and insightful, especially for people that just they're just still at the dream phase, right? And they want to figure out what exactly they need to do. Start with the fundamentals, JavaScript, CSS, HTML5.
Yeah.
Even for JavaScript, also the frameworks, you'll figure it out as you go on.
The framework,
and then based on based on doing your research, you know where the industry, especially wherever you are located, where is it at, what are the kind of jobs that are available for developers, and you can eventually figure out what to do. So it's still several years have gone past. You followed a particular pattern to develop and improve your craft. But I still want to know if you now recommend a different pathway, right? This kind of person, okay, I think maybe I want to learn JavaScript, I want to learn CSS. What would be your recommended pathway for them to really learn?
So it was free resources, honestly. I wasn't enrolling in courses, but I wasn't even enrolling to go get a degree. I was just focused on the craft itself and using the resources available to me, W3 Schools, codeacademy.com. And there are even many more now. I mean, dev.com, so many platforms out there. Medium, where you can read up on what people are doing, how they're doing processes. So there are even free platforms now that can teach you how to code. W3 School still exists. That's what I used in my time. Start small and adjust as you go. Start with the resources that are available to you. We have YouTube. On YouTube, you could pick up a skill in a year. Yeah, absolutely free. There are hours and hours of recordings on YouTube that you can easily get and try to upskill.
Artificial intelligence, AI will replace developers. What do you think? What's your opinion?
That's a myth. That's not true. AI is inevitable. In fact, it has come already. And AI will be with us forever. AI will replace some careers, 100%. That's true, and it's already happened. People have always lost jobs even before AI came on. The idea of AI, depending on the youth, should be allowing developers to be more efficient, to work better, to improve the software process if needed, to improve execution, to improve ideation. How I'm using AI currently, to be honest, I can't lie, I am very intelligent with the way I use AI. I'm a prompt god. I like prompts, honestly. The way I use AI is I make it a tutor. AI is greener with documentation and automation. Of course, debugging as well could be quite useful for debugging. And I think these three things will help the developer produce better.
What's one I'm sure you've had several wins along your career, projects you're proud of, but what's one that comes to mind? Maybe one project or one particular thing you did that gave you that joy, that excitement, that or something that you're really proud of, that I did that.
Yeah. Well, on my second stint in Europe, I think I was on well, UK had Brexit, so they're no longer in Europe. But England still plays the Euro Cup. But yeah, I was with a team in the UK, and we're working on the sports applications, mainly working on like things like athletes, well-being apps, analytical apps. I mean, helping them, making tools that actually impact their daily routines, not just for the athlete, but for the game in general, for whatever game they might be involved in. It was a big win for me because we did launch. We had a few demos in, clubs like Fulham, Watford, the ladies team, also some rugby teams as well in the UK. That moment was special for me. We had to do something for their well-being apps as well, monitoring their health, making sure data is accurate. In fact, we also branched into making analytics available for them, post-game analytics. We did stuff like that. So it was a very interesting time for me. And I was proud of my work on that team, because one of our stuff actually was sponsored by Nike. So it was a good one. It was a very good one.
I think that's one of the beauty of like working in tech or building stuff that people will really use, because being part of the process of ideation, trying out different things, research, finding out what works, will not work, and then eventually building it and now seeing the real life use and how it's impacting on their games, their results. That's like one of the exciting things, exciting rewards of building stuff. Cool. In terms of what you anticipate building, there are like one or two key areas that you have in mind that I would love to build a product in this area or make this kind of impact.
Definitely. Like I said, after the fintech boom should be hardware time. Yes, should be hardware time. I like the IoT space. I've always had an interest in IoT, Internet of Things, embedded systems, and I hope I'll be able to build a few things in the near future with respect to that. But my interests, I'll be honest, may not be technical in the long run. But if it's word technical, my interest will solely lie on hardware, IoTs, embedded systems, and maybe client acquisitions.
If you are not a developer, if you are not working in the software space, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing?
You're not coding, you're not doing front end, back end, full stack.
I'd likely be an artist.
Music artist.
Nah, not music.
I was getting I was whether you be rapping, right?
No music artist.
Yeah, got people in the video.
Impossible. But the problem, the big problem. But nah, I'm talking about art.
Okay, drawing,
Fine.
painting,
Creative arts. But creative arts is broad.
Yeah.
I'll be into, fine arts, paintings, stuff like that.
In wrapping up this particular episode, what will be like your final words? We've spoken quite a lot. We had a lengthy conversation, which was very insightful. Talked about building, growing your career, advice for mentorship, maintains, what to do, identifying character and traits that young developers need to build for them to become senior. Talked about the business side. Talked about artificial intelligence. Just like in wrapping up, what will be your final words? Yeah, for people, young people, for businesses, for founders building cool stuff, and for the ecosystem in general in Nigeria.
That's a lot to cover. My final word is to keep doing. The opportunities are endless, especially in our ecosystem here. You find maybe Nigeria is not moving as fast as it should. It could actually put out your fire when you try to innovate and you get put down, or you don't get the right support. By not getting the right support, I mean the infrastructure is not there to actually help you. I mean, you're literally crying for help. Like, I have a great idea. Help me. It's not really the most conducive sometimes. But if you continue to innovate still, I think even in a place like Nigeria that is as difficult and rash and tough, you can still make headway in whatever you want to do. But the idea is the key thing is to always be doing. You need to always be found and doing something. Because if you, there's this line I always use, if everyone, and I actually got it from Jordan Peterson, everyone has something to contribute in this life. Everyone has a light they need to put forth into the world. And if you find that you are not saying what you want to say, I mean, you have a voice, and you're not actually saying what you want to say, you keep everything inside, you don't do your best, you don't put yourself out there, you don't contribute, you find that you become bitter. You become quite bitter, especially even more bitter when you find out that what you refuse to do, someone else is actually doing it and is finding success in it. So you become resentful and very bitter. The idea is to always find yourself doing things. What works for you is building in public. Go ahead. If you want to build from within the shadows, go ahead. But the idea is to build. And just to contribute to humanity as much as possible. That's my final word.
Well, very, very insightful. Absolutely love it. We all have something to give, something to contribute. We all have gifts and skills and talent. It's important for us not to hide them, but to release them. Just keep moving, just do something. Since you may not have the perfect condition, not the perfect situation, not in the perfect location or economy, but just do something, keep going, keep moving. And I love one quote that I think Mark Zuckerberg said at some point in time, that ideas don't come out fully formed. Whatever you have, just keep working on it. If they had told him at that point in time that he was going to build a platform like Facebook or Meta right now that is being used by millions of people, billions of people around the world, Instagram that they acquired and all of that, probably would not have even done it in the first place. But then that simple idea of just connecting people, and started building, becomes clearer and clearer the more you keep on working on it. And ideas are almost like raindrops. As it's falling here, it's also falling somewhere else. It's the first person that works on it that would eventually get the result. Thank you so much for coming, Peter Oduntan. Or did I pronounce your name?
Yeah, so I'll take that.
You will manage that. Yeah, it's been a very insightful conversation and episode. Cool. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Yeah, let us know in the comment section what you gain, what you love to implement, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace.